off of about 140 plays, somewhere in there, 135, 140 play scrimmage. I thought we punted the ball well. I thought Starsick made 5 out of 6 from all over the place. On his field goals, we kicked off well. Our special teams looked good. Offense started hot with ones versus twos. I think they scored 3 times in that 15-play series. 2 offense scored on the 1 defense, and then the 1 defense pretty much started playing a lot better after that. We had high red area, low red area, 3rd down, and then we had 2 15-play in a row racks between 1 versus 2, 1 versus 1, and so on down. We came out pretty injury-free. Polska possibly has a high ankle injury. Really had 2 guys that didn't play today. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Had 2 guys that didn't play today that probably could have played on a Saturday with Cam Ball and Rodney Hill, a couple of AC sprains there that aren't bad. Like I said, I think both of them could have played today if needed. We elected to hold them until Monday. Penalty-wise, we were really good. I think we had 8 penalties between the 3 different groups, and 140 plays. That's most of them were some type of hold in the secondary, and it wasn't any specific guy. There was one kind of a piece. Offensively, didn't really have offside penalties or anything that ran well. We've got to snap the ball a little bit better. But other than that, it was a pretty clean scrimmage, and we got a lot of work in. So I'll take questions.
Yeah, Coach, curious how Taylor did today, how he managed the offense.
Well, he threw 1, 2, ran 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. He threw 5 or 6 touchdowns. He threw the ball really well, accurate. Ran the offense, controlled, like a second-year guy, probably that's ready to go. Should, 2-minute drill. We didn't offensively. We didn't get down there and kick a field goal with either one of the offensive groups. So that was good on the defense side of it. But other than that particular scenario, I thought, Taylor did a really, really good job. And, I'm not saying that part was his fault either. I'm just saying, we need to move the ball down there and be able to score in that 2-minute time. We weren't able to, and that's a good job by the defense.
Anybody on defense and offense just have a really standout, remarkable game today?
Mike Washington. Got a 62-yard touchdown, maybe second play of the game. Then he came back, rushed 1 for about 4 yards, had a 40-yard touchdown run. It's pretty good. And obviously the line's doing a good job and all that too, but Mike stood out to me. Now, there's some other things here in the wide receiver. I thought Omega Blake had his best day. He caught a couple touchdown passes. I thought he had his best day. Sharp showed up today a little bit, catching the football. Braylon had a touchdown or 2, ran hard behind his pads. But for the most part, I thought the offensive line protected pretty good. It's a lot of reps, obviously, to protect, but we expect them to protect every time. But Platt showed up, got a touchdown pass, a 20-yard touchdown pass. But the one that was Mike Washington. He was outstanding.
I was interested. You kind of mentioned pass pro right then, but did you see a substantial improvement maybe? And then the first pass defense, the rush as well. What'd you see?
I felt Quincy and I felt Boone. I felt both those guys on pass rushing. Ian Griffard pushed the pocket a lot today. The quarterback had to, move a little bit, not outside of it, but had to move around him because he had some depth in there as well. What was the other question?
Pass protection.
Yeah, I didn't notice, we cut T-Will loose. He could run whatever he wanted to, and didn't have many mistakes. And I thought our backs and our tight ends stepped up there and were physical and blocked well. And I think our quarterbacks are comfortable back there. Very seldom did Talon have to break the pocket or KJ have to break the pocket. It was more stepping up and all those things. So, yeah, if I had a problem with the protection, I probably would have mentioned it real early, because that's one that we certainly needed to clean up and had to get the right guys to do it, but also had to know who to block. And I think we've cleaned that up quite a bit since a year ago.
You didn't mention turnovers anyway, so you're pretty close to turnover free, or?
We really were. None. The only turnover we had that I can remember, am I right, Kyle, with the ones and twos, is one interception, right, by Kenai Walker, is what I can remember right off the bat. We had a couple fumbles with the threes.
All right, and then you cut practice maybe 30 minutes short yesterday. I'm wondering, is that indicative that you were pleased with the first week or wanted to take a little bit off of them for today? What's the big picture from the first week?
I'm blaming Pat Doherty for that. I'll be perfectly honest with you. On paper, you're right, it was cut 30 minutes. Now, most of that reason was because we had a scrimmage today. But no, next week is, you have a certain number of spiders, full pads, shells. Next week we'll have 2 of those spider practices, and which yesterday was. So normally they don't go quite as long as before, but we purposely, actually, we had it cut down 30 minutes, and the practice finished a little faster than that even, because the kids were really transitioning good. I like where we're at right now. We've got a lot to work on, and our kids understand that. But next week will be a couple of spiders, a couple of fulls, 1 shell, and then another scrimmage.
Obviously, Coach, you got a lot of competition at the cornerback spot. Did anybody stand out there? What did you see from the secondary overall?
No, I thought early we didn't cover very well. And then I thought after the first couple of racks, we got better. Third down, I thought we were better. Kenai Walker, like I said, he picked a pass. I felt Julian Neal out there. I thought he played well. Jaheim Singletary, but those guys, along with Davila and Bridges, they're kind of still in a battle. Julian missed a little practice because of a hamstring, so it was good to get him back yesterday and today. But we've got to get better because we had too many big plays out there.
You've praised the offensive line, but I'm curious, what specifically did you see from that right side where another competition with, Kobe, Shaq, Keyshawn?
So besides Shaq and Emarian, the rest of the line played all with the ones. You're looking at Kobe across with Kittler and Junior and Corey. But we played kind of equal ones with Shaq and Emarian. The defense had a lot of twist games in, had a lot of single blitzes, had up the middle type cross dogs, whatever. And I thought the left side played well together. I think that's a good side, Corey and Junior. It was good to have Kittler back. We got him back yesterday. Cash Courtney's coming on, man. He's a good player as a freshman. But I don't know if I answered your question, but I felt like they played well. I didn't feel a lot of heat over there. And Quincy's usually, a lot of times on Corey, and that's a good matchup because I think Quincy Rhodes is a good pass rusher.
Colby was in here yesterday saying that Mike Washington in practice the other day, one of the first few plays, breaks out for a run. He just did it again today. What is it about Mike that makes him so successful so fast?
Well, he's really good. He's fast. He can break tackles. He seems to set up blocks well. But he seems like he can run forever. Catch the ball. He can run. Yeah, the first play of live tackle in a year, he goes to the house on a little stretch play. He can make you miss. He's just an all-around guy. You know, he's a good player, and he's super fast.
I've seen Bradshaw with the ones and fastball a few days this week. Just what'd you see out of your linebacker room as a whole?
He was in there, and he's a good player too. But he was in there because Sorey had a hamstring, but he's in there also because he deserves to be in there. He's a good player, and we felt that way about him last year, and he's continued to move on and move. I tell you, a guy that has come on at linebackers, Andrew Harris. I mean, good player, physical guy, can run. He's moved up to 1 on every special team, obviously besides field goal, but he's moved up to depth chart. I like Trent Whalen too, but I really think Andrew's moving up big time. I think he'll play a ton of ball on defense for us as well, as Brad.
From that group, what'd you like from them today? Where's improvement?
Ran well, tackled well. They ran well, tackled well. If you look at some of Mike's runs, it wasn't necessarily missed tackles. It was really well blocked, and we're not fitting right from the secondary. But other than, I think we tackled pretty good. I wasn't disappointed in that part of it, and those linebackers tackled well.
Coach, other than Quincy Rhodes and Cam Ball, how many do you feel good about on the defensive line?
Boone, Danny Saleh, I like both those guys. Oki's a guy that we got to come on. I mean, he has to come on, and he's working at it. And we've got those 3: Ball, Ian, and Danny. And then I really like Justice Boone. Boone's handled a spot for us. He really has. And then Quincy. And then, Charlie and them guys, they're getting better. They're coming on. But I'd say you've got Quincy and Boone right now are ahead of that. And we've got to get Frank Molopoli had some good plays today. He's got to come on. We need his help at defensive end.
The other day you mentioned White Simmons a little bit at linebacker and said he needed to come on. It's his time. How's he doing in the 2 weeks or
White's
whatever?
doing a good job. He can run side to side. I want to see him take that A gap and destroy that A gap. But we need him to step up a little bit more, be physical in the A and B gaps. He can really run. He's giving us all we can. He will do that, and he'll be a good player for us.
A couple of guys you mentioned, I don't think we've heard you mention Andrew Harris yet. You've mentioned Trent and White and obviously the starters and stuff. Was there a moment where things popped for him?
Practice. I mean, it was our first shell practice. And we ran an ISO on him, and he, destroyed the guy, the fullback, and then made some side-to-side plays. And when he hits you, he's very, very powerful. Well, you can't see that in spiders, And we didn't have an opportunity to see it in the spring. And so then he's on special teams, and he's running like fast, and is physical, shedding blocks and all that. And he's moved up to, I just really like him, and I think he's going to be a really good player, Trey. I mean, a real good player. We just got to get him ready mentally, knowing what everything's. It's more coverage stuff than playing the run. Once we do that, I think he'll play a lot of ball for us because he's just a physical. When he hits you, what I'm saying. When he hits you, it's just a rock. Pretty impressive.
I feel like you're proving your point from the spring when you said you don't know how a linebacker. You said linebacker specifically. I don't know how a linebacker moves up the depth chart if you don't hit, if you don't tackle.
It's true, and it's exactly how he moved up. And the game of football is called football, and you got to tackle, and you got to hit, and then we get all nervous because we don't want to get our guys. I'm going to tell you what, Trey, we've had more injuries in shells. We have than we have. I mean, we went out there today, had 140 plays. Hell, we're going to be ready to go on Monday, So I just don't know how you beat somebody out without that. And I sure wanted it when I played college. I wanted an opportunity to show you know, I may be slow and I may be not very big and not very strong, but I'll try to tackle you, you know. And without that, I never would have been able to play. So you're right. Thank you.
Another guy that you mentioned that we hadn't heard a whole lot. The other day, Kobe and Marion and Corey asked about defensive linemen who stood out, and they all said Justice Boone. And you just mentioned him. So what is it about Justice, and when did that pop for him?
Yeah. Latter part of spring, we thought, because I think, again, you're thinking you're not going full speed, you're not moving, you know, what do I do on this? So it takes a little while. Latter part of spring, probably last 4 or 5 practices of spring, he started showing. Not like now, but he started showing, and which made us believe that, hey, this guy, he may be our, you know, one of our best defensive ends. He's big, and he had a really good summer. And then as we're coming out here, and I think somehow he felt like, you know, he's a transfer. So I felt like at some point he felt like this is my team. I'm part of this team. I'm not for sure he felt that way early. It was, I want to show guys I belong on the team. There's a difference. And now he's, you know, this is my team. I'm a big part of it, and I think that confidence as well. But he's big and he's running and he's turning it loose. He's not thinking. And I think he's pretty good. I think he's a pretty good player, and I think he'll help us tremendously.
Last time we talked with you, you said that you needed to put Starzyk in some pressure situations, and you said he had a good day today. Kind of what was the situations of those kicks, and how'd you apply the pressure?
Do you know where all the distance were? They're on there. Let me turn my... Touchdown. All you had to do is just say what you said, flip it over. 39-43. He missed a 50 in the wind, but he hit it well. The wind took it. I mean, he hit it down the middle. 36 and 48 and 35.
And what were like the situations, I guess, were they the pressure situations unexpected you were talking about, any of them?
One. Okay, so I don't want to kick extra points in a scrimmage. I want to kick field goals in a scrimmage. And so each time that we scored is just like a, you know, live type deal. But we moved it. So when we scored, we never went to the 3. We went to he didn't know where we were going, what hash, none of that stuff. We put it down, whatever, and then he had to go out and kick it. So that was our way of putting pressure on him. We didn't get an opportunity to kick him during the 2-minute because the defense did a good job of stopping the offense.
We've seen K.J. Jackson have a pretty good connection with Monte Harrison with the twos and fastballs. I wonder how those two guys look today.
Yeah, I thought K.J. had a very productive day, had several touchdowns to Jones, to Monte, had a 70-yard touchdown, a 45 to Monte, and a 45-yarder to Jones. Is that a touchdown or just yards? One of them was a touchdown. Harrison's was a touchdown. The other 2 45s were just big plays. But, KJ has really been playing well and running the offense well. Bobby's done a nice job of that, and he's done a good job of learning the offense as well, too, but he's been very accurate.
Any backs behind Washington stood out?
Braylon scored a couple touchdowns and ran hard, got the extra yard or two when he, got hit, finished forward. I don't know if he caught any balls out of the backfield. I can't remember. I don't think so, but I don't know exactly how many times he carried the ball. We went in, won him around 8 carries. I don't know that he got that many or more. We'll have to wait and see, but I thought he played well and he was physical. The other guy is who's had a really good fall is Rodney Hill. He's bigger. He's really running the ball well. He just got dinged up Thursday, and so he actually practiced a little bit yesterday, but I I didn't want to hit him. He's a veteran. I didn't want to hit him today until he gets fully healthy. And Campbell's the same way.
It seems like you guys have a really good foundation at receiver with Omega and Raylan. Is there anyone else, either today or through fall camp, that you're seeing develop that chemistry with Talon so far?
Andy Jean and Jalen Brown are two guys that, and obviously CJ's a guy that we're counting on that out there as well. Shanks has had a hamstring. We need him to get healthy. We need to find out exactly what he can do offensively. We think we know, but that was from the spring. We need to find out a little bit more about him. But right off the top of my head, I'd say Blake, Shanks, Blake, Andy Jean, and Jalen Brown probably in that.
Sorry, Shanks didn't participate today, I'm guessing, with the injury.
No, he's got a ham and been for a while now, and he's practiced some, but not long. And I just wanted to hold on. I need him back there for the whole practice, and I need him back there for punt return. So hopefully Monday he'll be ready to go.
I think the one position maybe we haven't touched on yet is safety, and obviously you got two experienced guys with Larry and Miguel. How has that group kind of come on, and are you seeing their chemistry develop even into a second year now?
Yeah, I think the major concern there, I think those guys are playing well together. I got to watch the film and see how Jordan Young, he's kind of added as a linebacker, safety, whatever. To see, I know Smalls came in and made some really good plays today, but I like those two. We've got to continue. Caleb Wooden, that's another guy who's really important back there. He played with the one some today, kind of alternating a little bit in there. But I got to find out why there was some long play. There's too many big plays, and I got to find out if it's angles. I don't think we're missing tackles. I think it's just angles and getting there. Or maybe we're not dropping in the right spots. But I didn't really feel Miguel and Caleb or those guys or Larry being out of position down the middle. I don't know why we had so many big plays defensively. I got to figure that out on tape.
Yeah, just to follow up on Starzek, how often have you been putting him in those pressure situations, not today, but in the practices beforehand?
15 times, and he's 14 to 15. So 15 times in practice we've put him in those situations, and 14 of them he's made.
What do those situations look like?
We can just call the field goal team out there, depending on whenever I want to, and they run out there and he kicks it. I don't know how to answer that, and that's a good question. I call field goal, they run out, he kicks it, and 14 out of 15 has went through. So.
Appreciate you, Coach.
All right, guys.